is globally banned. It will be the Nidalee to come through instead, and that's just going to leave Ashe. Definitely one of the strongest bottom lanes to get an Ashe first pick, I would say, in the LCK.
Yeah. Renekton immediately the follow-up here for clear, as well as Zyra. So you already have really strong top lane and an extremely fast clearing jungle with this duo.
And the Nidalee's taken away. Sejuani does feel like pretty viable in this situation just because it pairs well with the Ashe, but isn't going to be as strong into the Zyra. Will not be able to match the clear, will not be able to make the same impact in the early game. Instead, it will be Viego to come through here. It does make you wonder if FAKER just locks up the AZIR, and well, never really any doubt.
True.
As I think some people might be critical of, again, the reliance on the AZIR, but if you want to show as little as possible before playoffs, this is just a strong set of champions. No secrets here.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Viego into Zyra personally. I feel like if you fall behind it, you get behind.
That seems like a pretty easy rotation for this draft for BNK.
There's also Rakan to consider. Duro, a very big Rakan player, and it has not been denied from him. So we're just going to lock in the misfortune and just wait.
Yeah. Just want to have the support counter pick. This means that Keria should lock the Rel, unless... Yeah. No, he's just... It's the orange pick is a consideration for top lane in this...
It's Senna Ornn bot, Ashe mid, AZIR top.
What about Ashe top into Renekton?
No.
Slow him down.
Ashe
Keep that Croc
jungle,
away.
Viego top, AZIR 80k... Wait.
Yeah, it's GP, I think, is probably a better option here. This comp has insane scaling. It feels like we've gone back to the Genji days. If you're okay, going to be the Kennen instead. But if you go back to the GP AZIR drafting, old school Genji drafts, we used to see a lot of that back in 2021, 2022. Duro looking for the Nautilus response here since the Rel was taken away. I feel like the better way to have played this one out for BNK's bottom lane would have just been to grab the Rel because they can't take the misfortune away from you and then have that really strong synergy there that already works well with the Zyra. Instead, they ended up with Nautilus into Rel, which is a little bit... I mean, it's okay, but it's a little bit weak, I feel. Pretty strong into dive if the Viego does have that opportunity down there on the bottom side. You have a lot of staking power in the roots, etc. Very difficult to kill under turret when there's a Nautilus there. Otherwise, the draft here for BNK feels pretty good. You have really nice setup, single target CC. You have some combo setup with the Zyra for the bullet time. It's not as strong as the Rel in game.
Whole boatload of damage. We'll see how it goes as we hop on the rift for game number 1.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Here we go, game 1 as T1 have grouped in the top lane. All 5 members here to come. And Closer's like, well, I'm gonna have to take Valkyrie first. And that he will. Duro able to proc his Aftershock, I believe, so he gets away.
He's fine. Very nice to get the Valkyrie out of Closer early. Ashe level 1, incredibly strong. Ashe and Braum, even stronger. Why that was banned away. Clear will avoid the slow. And it has not really been working out for a lot of teams who are like, oh, I have the answer to X range matchup. It's Kennen, but it doesn't work for the draft. She's a poor performance of it all overall as Keria's going in.
Going in, and Hannah is, well, actually it was Raptor. He is going to be 100-0. First blood does go over to T1 just like that, but BNK are fighting back. Owner going to be taken out himself, and that is a trade of junglers as the collapse did come in afterwards. Meanwhile, Henna is winning this bottom lane at the moment.
Yeah, Guma hit 6, so wants to get away from that turret. Time for FAKER to get over here and try to isolate him. Owner will ultimately come up here and start these grubs off. Looks like he's just going to get the key one that you want to get, and then Raptor will come over here and try to grab the second 2. That was a nice little timing that Owner found to get in there and get that one away. FAKER did get pushed out of lane. Closer actually has a pretty big advantage now and will crash this wave in, so lost farm for Faker in the mid lane, and also that guarantees the second and third grub go to Raptor. They're not Raptors, but
yeah, we have Raptors now. They used to be Wraiths.
it was white, or the Gromp it is now. Remember that?
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Wow. Guma's just going to be ulted, and he is going to throw an arrow in as well. Duro's going to get pretty low. Hannah just has to walk away.
Well, ends up being a big exchange there. Hannah's ultimate super useful defensively there, has the cleanse. But T1 will get the dragon as a result of this. So we've got part of the top side objective. We'll get the full bottom here on that dragon. We'll see what comes with the second Drake here. Get a bigger clue on how much this really means. The individual stats of this will be relatively useful. It's not Grasp AZIR or anything like that. It's not going to be super tanky. We'll be straight to Hextech. So I feel like we're headed to a Chemtech Soul with how the LCK works.
As we've really slowed down. Feeling the deep lull state coming on. As I say that, though, Closer is in the bot lane getting some plays, and T1 do want to respond to this. Keria, he is going to go in with the Magnastorm and flash away. Here comes an arrow. That's also flashed from. So both supports very careful about how far they go.
Very aggressive plate. Much action as they'll allow. As Lear.
It might be in a little bit of trouble. That one auto into the stun. Very good from Owner. Clear extremely low. Has to flash the Heartbreaker. And now you've got this cannon who's going AD and is attacking this turret. A mile a minute, going to take down 2 plates already.
Hard to blame them, but the thing is, because they don't have control, T1 can contest this Herald as well as then afterwards, if they win the fight, take the dragon. So BNK not able to set up a fight because Faker is actually playing AZIR. But I think a lot of the time you forget in this meta that if there is an AZIR in the game, he could just shut down entire rotations with his ultimate. It's been double AD for so long with not a whole lot of engage, not a lot of utility. Feels like you can kind of just go, well, we'll just walk over to Herald. No one can stop us. Faker actually just being nearby means you can't get in there careful or safely. And actually it's going to be BNK resetting, and T1 will match.
Yeah.
And Zeus is just pushing and pushing.
Yeah, I feel like AD Cannon is definitely one of the most difficult champs that's quote-unquote in the meta. It's not really in the meta. We see a lot of Cannon, but it's almost always AP because your spacing basically has to be perfect. Your range isn't that long on the auto attacks, but obviously it's longer than the Renekton. Especially this matchup can be very difficult. By the way, it is Infernal Soul.
All right.
In this game.
Feeling great for T1 with a 2 Drake lead. And yeah, it's in Zeus' meta. And when you have a farming cannon that's actually building AD, it's kind of a problem that he's getting all of this money, and there's just been no answer whatsoever. They gave the dragon, but also failed to get the Herald. So turret for Flash Mist Hook. That's the cross map.
Yeah. Do you remember?
We'll clear the said ward at least.
Yeah, the issue with AD Cannon is that those teleport flanks, kind of whatever. It's like, oh, well, we got our very fed cannon there. That's good. But the flank itself is like, well, they ulted us, and he doesn't have any AP.
Closer TPs, and T1 is going to give this up, it looks like.
Yeah, I feel like this is actually good. Like, I feel like Zeus should just stay bot and try to get tier 2.
No, exactly. And that's what he's going to do. You know, even if you TP in with AD Cannon, obviously your ult's not going to do a lot of damage. There still is the utility of it there, but he could have just TP'd in, not as a flank, but just to help fight with his team. But he's not quite a big threat just yet. But he is a big threat to turrets, and T1 kind of cautiously give this one up, get a TP out of Closer. And none of these turrets are really killable here right now with this Herald. Unless they get a kill here and clean this one up, they are going to commit to this even though it's at 90% health.
Yeah.
And so they just walk away.
Hey, they got it to half health. And this is good, too. I think Owner, you know, there's not much happening. He's able to join on bot, and there's nothing that Claire can do.
There's out macro. Yeah. Just getting out macroed super hard. It's a 2-kill game. Dragon is up in 15. Zeus is getting half of this turret. Can still just go bottom.
Okay, well, Clear is just going to try to get in onto Zeus. There's the Slicing Maelstrom for the stun, and it's enough autos to get the kill. Zeus wins the 1v1. Clear had it.
And Clear all-ins to die. And now T1 gets Soul Point. And Duro is hoping that maybe he could catch this cannon in the top lane, maybe put some deep vision up. But ZS is long gone, miles away.
Yeah. It's really a thinking man's game.
Yeah, because then he just, I mean, he does a decent amount of damage, but he just becomes this utility, engage, DPS, like, kind of like Gnar, weirdly enough, where you do a lot of damage, but you actually have the CC to set up team fights.
I like the way that Zeus plays it as well. You talked about the shadow of T1. This is kind of the way he's playing his side lane as well. Like, he pretends he left, but actually he just, like, zooms in right when they approach the wave, so just even more oppressive. They want to take down this mid-tier 1. Looks like FAKER just going to tap that once. Big flank right now from Clear, who is still looking to try to find some kind of usefulness in this game, and he's going to be spotted, so there's no more flank.
Zeus has TP, and Closer cannot stop him. So, looks like maybe they were going to try to look for the flank to come back, or rather just the engage here on the
start Baron.
They're just going to start Baron instead and say, look, one Dragon versus one Baron. We already have 3 Dragons. That's going to be what they grab. Nice fadeaway here from Raptor. They're going to TP for this.
I mean, they might be able to get in. The damage, though, is so fast on this one that it's definitely going the way of T1. Let's see what this fight looks like. As a lot of damage goes into Duro, but that's the first reset for the Viego. And look at Clear, he's so far ahead of the team. Down he will go. Keria might pay the price, but it's still the fight for T1. As now you got the TP coming in from the blue team. FAKER looking for a bit more, looking for Closer, who does have to flash the sweep. And is even kind of losing the trade, but the big one does get stasis by FAKER. Nicely done. Flash comes in as Red wins as well. And he's going to get that kill. T1 finally finding a big fight. And now Henna kind of alone against the Viego, who is quite fed, and he will not win that fight in any universe. Is that just the game, Wolf?
I think that's just the game. I mean, 40 seconds on both 80 carries here for B&K. They have Baron. They have a cannon wave. Instead, it looks like they're just going to dot the rise and cross their T's here a little bit. But that was a pretty disastrous, fight on the Baron.
And now he's got Wit's End. This cannon is just off the wall with how insanely fed he is. Even FAKER's got a death cap. I mean, nothing has happened in this game, but it's still a 9,000 gold lead.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of macro happened.
Yeah.
Not a lot of killing until that last Baron fight. Now they have the macro and the killing. And that means big items.
It's a good combo. And, well, they're going to be looking for bot turret and inhibitor, but 5 members, 4 members and a half. You know, Clear's kind of in mid. He's like, oh god, I got to go top, but I can't deal with the cannon. I can't deal with this guy alone. Clear already learned that, and that was before the cannon had 4 items.
Yeah, I feel like Zeus just right-clicked on the turret and then, like, stretched his hands.
Yeah, and now once again, look at Duro. He's just like, I gotta hook something. I'm gonna hook a minion. Obviously not on purpose, but just desperation on the side of B&K. Down will go Keria, but the carries here on the side of T1 are now very fed. Zeus getting 1v2'd. He will trade 1 for 1. And Guma is still alive, as well as Owner getting resets in the back line. FAKER gonna go in, get stunned. Does go into the stasis, but I'm not sure that he gets out. Oh, he does the sweep into the flash! And that is a beautiful way to end the game. T1 clean. Super clean here in this first one, and will take it down up against B&K to take the lead in the series.
Say what you will about FAKER's mechanics here in round 2 on a lot of